Welcome to Eurobike Day 2, where I'm in search of more bikes, more tech, more gadgets, and more innovation. Day 1 was a huge success. If you haven't watched our video already, go check it out. Right, let's go find that tech. This crazy looking bike is the Strada Italia. It's been updated and released just a few weeks ago. So here on the 3T stand, we've got this new bike with its updated tube shapes and profiles. And whilst the silhouette is fairly similar to the previous model, there's some pretty big changes. So all of the shapes have now been pushed to the absolute max to be what's allowed by the latest UCI regulations. And then big change is where the bike is manufactured. So production has been taken away from Asia, and this bike is now produced in Italy, which I think is really cool. And tyre clearance is a big thing on this bike, quite literally. So it's sat here fitted with 30mm tyres on, and there's still space to go even wider still. You can put up to a 35mm tyre in this, and super wide for an aero road bike like this, built up with the latest SRAM red, and the clear coat, and the way that you can see all of the little different weaves of carbon fibre throughout the frame is fascinating. It looks like a real work of art. Take a look at these bad boys. They are the LoreTwo low carbon. So that means they're the second edition of the Lore 3D printed shoe in carbon fibre, and the low cut version on the top rather than the high cut. These are a shoe which Ollie and I spoke about on the tech show a little while ago, and it's incredible and super fascinating to see them up close and personal. Now, as we've said, 3D printed here, so your foot is scanned, and then you create the 3D printed section and the base first, which has got carbon fibre, and then the upper material is a TPU material, which has got a bit more flex and give to it. Now, because your foot is scanned, well, you've got a shoe which is within 1mm precise all the way around your foot to be an exact replica of the shape and profile of your individual feet, which is a super neat and fascinating thing to see. Previously, when we spoke about this, we said the big downside was the cost, but as the guys here on the stand have just told me, well, it's kind of comparable to the amount of money that people would spend on upgrading their carbon fibre wheels, and kind of should be looked at in the same way, I think. So, yeah, like lots of technology that we've seen so far, I'm interested to see if this develops further in the future. Maybe 3D printed shoes will one day be the norm. This is the Rivette Carbon from Haro, a brand you might associate with BMXs, much like I do, which was started in 1978. But this is their like aero all-round race bike. We've got big chunky tyres. It's actually a limited edition version, this one, hence we've got this absolute boss paint job on here. We got really cool logos all over the bike. Full blast, never last. We've got go fast, go home. We've got more speed. We've got on the rivet. And I've got to say, I'm a big fan. Gloss white bike with this little green logos. Being a limited edition bike, there's only 20 of these available. Built up with the latest SRAM red. 30mm tyres in here, but space for even wider ones as well. And there's a few different versions available, built up with options like Dura Ace, Ultegra, and 105. And this limited edition version has actually been designed by Mark Ward, who is one of the first to do their limited edition artist series. And I'm told there's going to be more limited edition versions to come soon. Big fan of that. Bike saddles come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. We've got thick boys, we've got skinny boys, we've got 3D printed boys, classic boys, and then this, the Aspide short in iridescent gold. Love the colour of this. Something like this would go absolutely lovely on my bike. I'm like a magpie that's just attracted to bright, shiny colours on my bike. The Aspide short, it's got the Exolite rails. It's a short nose saddle with a very large central cutout. I just think it looks super cool. That's the best thing about saddles. You can use them to not only get comfortable on your bike, but also a really cool way of customising the look of it as well. Let's talk wheels. So here on the Vision stand, we've got the Metron 60 SL, the Metron 45 SL. Now these wheels have been around for a little while. Ollie tends to use these on his road bike, and I tend to use these wheels on my Pinarello. Absolutely love them. And they've just launched a new wheel, which is shallower. So this is the Metron 37 SL. As the name suggests, it's 37mm deep. Now, all three of these wheels have got a 21mm internal rim width, but the external rim width changes. So the further down the line we get, these ones being slightly narrower, we do have a slightly narrower external width, and that's to account for the fact that the rim profile and shape has to change across a narrower, shorter distance. It doesn't dramatically affect the shape that the tyre sits at, which is the most important thing. Now, the weight of these wheels, being shallower, they're designed to be lighter and more suitable for climbing, and I believe we're likely to see these used by Vision-sponsored teams in the Tour de France. 1,290 grams for the pair. The hubs are exactly the same throughout, and it's got the PRS ratchet system here, so we can't go without doing a free up sound check, can we? So 3, 2, 1. Ratchet free hubs do sound so blooming good. Also, if you want to go all out aero, over here we've got the 91 SL, which is a front wheel suitable for a time trial bike. They don't make it in a back wheel because if you're going to use the 91 SL bad boy at the front, well, you're going to want to use the disc wheel on the back. E-bike tech next. We're at TQ Motors, which is one of the lightest combined motor and battery systems in the world. This one is fitted to a Pinarello Nytro, the e-road bike from Pinarello. But Ollie and I have actually used this system when we were out in Girona comparing e-road to e-gravel bikes, and I gotta say, they were an absolute blast to ride. It's so cool here to see all of the little exploded view of how the system works. Obviously, when it's fitted to the bike, it's all combining together to make a really compact and neat system. And the magic wizardry that goes on in here is pretty impressive. Something that I believe is called a harmonic pinion gear ring. But nonetheless, I think it's great to see like compact e-bike technology where at a glance, you probably wouldn't even notice it was an e-bike. And Eurobike is absolutely jam-packed, full of really cool e-bike technology. Obviously, we don't tend to cover that loads here on GCNTech, but we do have EMBN, where they go to absolute town on all the battery and motor technology. As exciting as it is seeing all the lightest, most aero, fastest road bikes and time trial bikes out there, I'm actually really interested in the more urban and commuter style of bikes. This is the Diem from Orbea, a bike which I ridden once a few months ago when it first launched, but I think is actually a really cool style of bike. Not only does it look fantastic, like it's super practical and functional too. So you've got a choice of either the Shimano EP6 or EP8 motor down based at the crank here, and then also this model here has got auto shifting built into the rear hub. So we've got a belt drive here to make maintenance basically a thing of the past. And the fact that the auto gears are encased in the hub as well means this bike is pretty much ready to go as and when you are. Simply charge the battery up, pump the tyres up, and you're good to go. Now, I know that everyone thinks I'm obsessed with lightweight and aero bikes and tubeless tyres, but practical and functional bikes like this are something I've got a little soft spot for as well. 3D printed covers being used on saddles is becoming more and more popular. Now, one brand that has been doing this and using this technology for quite a while is Fizik. And so far, they've expanded their range of saddles that are using a 3D printed cover vastly. We've got all sorts of different shapes, styles, some with a big channel down the middle, and the best thing about this technology is the ability to really tweak and fine-tune what areas of the top cover are firmer and softer and changes in density to help make you as comfortable as possible. So what's really cool that Fizik are doing here is something that they're about to launch called their one-to-one program. This is where they're doing 3D pressure mapping of your body and how you sit on the saddle, then taking that information, running it through some high-tech computer wizardry, which then enables them to use the 3D printed cover that can be then tailor-made specifically to the information that they've taken from that pressure mapping session at the start. Now, by now, we hopefully all understand bike tyres are one of the most effective and cost-effective ways to upgrade your bike for comfort, speed, and to reduce the weight. Now, here on the Schwalbe booth, their answer to saving weight is with this, the Aerothan tyre, which is due to be released in the coming year. Super lightweight this, for just a 28mm tyre, 165 grams, which is kind of mind-blowing and is significantly lighter than any other performance road tyre I've seen for a while in this size. But there's also more innovation and tech here on the Schwalbe stand because they're trying to reinvent the valve. When it comes to road bike valves, you've typically got one option, the press-to valve. Schwalbe are trying to change things though with this, the ClikValve. So it's an innovative new design which just takes one click to go on and then off. There's no need to fumble around with like undoing the top of the press-to valve, which we're all used to. Now the cool thing about this is that it can be retrofitted onto any existing press-to valve that has a removable core, because this is where all of the technology is contained inside. Now if you use the correct pump head that is associated to the ClikValve, you've got minimal fuss, minimal hassle, and when you take the valve off, you've got pretty much zero air loss and an instantaneous pressure reading as well. Now, if you buy the ClikValve kit, you get two little valve cores and you get a little pump adapter to make it possible to use your existing pump head that you've got. And I didn't know that I needed a new valve for my tyres, but I gotta say, this is something I'm actually quite amazed by. So Smith are a brand which I associate with mountain bike helmets and protection, but they're also sponsoring the Human Powered Health Women's Road Cycling Team through the use of their Trace helmet and Shift Mag glasses, which features this really kind of interesting looking choroid inner structure. This is in place of EPS foam, and the Trace helmet itself uses a mixture of EPS foam and this choroid insert. It's super lightweight, this material, and super breathable. I mean, you can literally see straight through it. Really like the design of this. And then the Shift Mag glasses have got this really innovative design where there's a magnet system helping hold the enclosure on the glasses, so it makes it really simple and quick to switch out the lenses, although these ones ironically are photochromic, so they'll change with the light. Either way, it's cool to see. I like that. And Smith were just telling me this helmet design is not only being used on the road, but is also being used by the Santa Cruz mountain bike team. Hydration packs have really been like one of the big things that gravel bike racers have all gravitated towards, especially after some testing has showed them to actually be faster than not wearing one at all. This is the Chase race vest from CamelBak. I don't have one of these yet, but I'm waiting to get one because I've got a few gravel races lined up in the summer, and not only is it good to stay hydrated, something which I categorically didn't do when Ollie and I rode the 312 lap of Mallorca, it's also helping make you a little bit faster. I mean, look how sleek that sits on your back profile there, and like the airflow pretty much goes straight over the top of it. I like that. It comes in a men's version, women's version as well. Got updated colorways, absolutely loads of different bags from CamelBak. Nice. SIDI shoes have just had a massive revamp of their entire range across mountain bike, gravel and road, not only with the designs but also the colorways as well. We've got bright vibrant colors, we've got pastel colors. Not only that, we've got knitted designs used throughout, and I am a big fan of using shoes not only to get comfortable on the bike, but much like your saddles, using it as a way to really express and customize your setup that you're riding. So that's Eurobike Day 2 done and dusted. Please do let me know in the comments section down below what bit of bike tech and innovation you found most exciting, and as always, if you want to help support what we do, subscribe to GCN and GCNTech.